Hello friends, Eli Hibbett here with the Pwn Your Homework Physics Series podcast. If you're looking to prepare, review, or gain an added edge or point of view about topics in physics, then look no further. Tune in each week to unlock your understanding of the physical world surrounding us. And now let's dive right in.
Hey, how is everybody feeling today? I am your host, Eli Hibbett, back at you again with another edition of the Pwn Your Homework Physics Series podcast. And this week we have episode number 77, C cross D and D cross C, cross product examples part 2. Getting into a little bit of the algebra madness here. And so we'll be diving into that relatively soon. But first, up in the sky, we are in our last quarter moon, 48% illumination, and we are just 7 days away from the next new moon and 21 days away from full moon. And oh man, did I see it last night. I was driving home from the gym at like 11 o'clock at night, and it was like right on the horizon, and it was glowing yellow. It looked great, and unfortunately with my iPhone I can't take a really good picture of it. I don't know why that is, why phones can't take a very good picture of the moon, but it didn't really turn out. It didn't look as big. I mean, I know that the way humans look at the if you have an object closer to the horizon, it'll look bigger than if it's up in the sky, because we compare it to everything around it and gives a perceived larger size. But anyways, looked awesome, and we are in full effect in the lunar cycle. We are en route to our new moon, so that's what's going on up in the sky. And another great piece of news. We have a Facebook page, facebook.com/PWN Physics. So if you're feeling like showing some love, go over there and like the page. Links abounding to episodes, podcasts, apps, tips, tricks, you name it, it's there. So check it out. Again, facebook.com/PwnPhysics, and you can always see that over there on the blog, PWNYOURHW.blogspot.com. So coming into the 21st century with a little, we had the Twitter going for a while. Twitter's going strong, and now Facebook. So there we go. Dual action. Blog, Twitter, Facebook. So, all right. So with that being said, I am excited to dive into this cross-product business where we're going to do vector C, CXCYCZ, and vector D, DX, DY, DZ. We're going to do C cross D and D cross C, and see algebraically how it falls out. We should find out that C cross D is equal to minus D cross C, and we will see that shortly. But before we do that, we have a new little feature on the show. We have kind of a sponsor, I guess you'd say, and so they wanted to add a few words to the show, and so I am going to defer to them at this point, and I'll see you back in just a minute. All right, I think you're going to like this one. He's a cool guy, so here we go. Hello friends, this is Isaac Newton, former Lucasian professor of mathematics at Cambridge from 1642 to 1726. I also made some minor contributions to the world of physics and mathematics with the inventions of calculus and the descriptions of orbits of the planets, laws of force, and equations which describe kinematic motion. My minor hit book, Principia, which became more of an underground classic since it failed to chart on either the New York Times bestseller list or the Amazon top 10, has received what Wikipedia sometimes refers to as generally good reviews. But sometimes, even I need help. When I'm looking for homework tips and tricks, I check out the Pwn Your Homework Physics Series podcast. And now that I'm in my golden years, sometimes my memory slips here and there. When I want to brush up on the calculus that I invented, I grab the Exploring Mathematics Calculus Review app from the 2.718281828 Productions App Store. It's so great! Derivatives, trigonometry, exponents, integrals, anything your heart desires reviewed on my iPhone. And when I want to remember the steps to do any of Newton's, my second law force problems, I consult the Exploring Physics Force app from 2.71828 1828 Productions. It's so useful. It gives me a step-by-step on how to approach the problem, some great examples that would have been relevant even in my heyday, and some flashcards to help me remember how to identify forces, components, and useful variables that one normally encounters in force problems. Go to pwnyouRHW.blogspot.com and click the Available in the App Store icon on any blog post to find these incredibly useful review apps. May the force be... Wait, I don't think we have the license for that, do we? Wait, did I even speak English? Who wrote this? Anyway, go to pwnyouRHW.blogspot.com for podcast episodes and all the physics apps you could ever hope for. Isaac Newton endorsed! All the characters in this advertisement are entirely fictional. Any likeness to figures living or dead is entirely coincidental. So, there you go, guys. I'm not sure what was going on there, but Isaac Newton making an appearance on the podcast. So, anyways, not sure what I was thinking on that one, but okay, so let's get into a little cross-product action here. Let's migrate my way over to the old show notes, and we'll dive right in. So what we're doing, we're going to take C cross D and D cross C, and hopefully we should get the exact minus of that. So, without further hullabaloo, where the hell is it? Alright, so let's dig in here. We're going to go through our 5 steps to do cross product in 2 dimensions. Let's keep it simple here. And so we're going to have C cross D first. So identify 2 vectors in your coordinate system as AX, AY, and BX, BY. So here we have AX is equal to CX, AY is equal to CY. We're going to define in our problem. BX is equal to DX, and BY is equal to DY. So now when we follow these steps, we're just going to replace, our vectors C and D and go from there. So step number 2, multiply AX and BY. So that gives us CX times DY. Step number 3, multiply AY and BX, which is going to be CY and DX. So we have CX times DY and CY times DX. Then we subtract step number 2 from step number 3, aka CX times DY minus CY times DX. Step number 5, place a K hat at the end and box your answer. You're done. So the final answer is CX times DY minus CY times DX, all multiplied by K hat. So it's pointing in the positive Z direction. So there we go. So now we're going to calculate minus D cross C by following these exact same steps. And what we should get is the exact same thing. So what we'll do is we'll multiply D cross C, and then we'll multiply by minus 1, and it should be exactly what we had in our first C cross D situation, which was CX times DY minus CY times DX. So step number 1, identify our 2 vectors as AX, AY, and BX, BY. So here it's going to be opposite. We have AX is equal to DX, AY is equal to DY, BX is equal to CX, and BY is equal to CY. Multiply AX times BY. So this is going to be opposite from last time. So here we have DX times CY. Step number 3, multiply AY times BX. And so here again, it's a little bit flip-flopped. And so we have DY times CX. Subtract step number 2 from step number 3. So we have DX times CY minus DY minus CX, which is the opposite of what we had before. So now we place a K hat on this guy, and we're done. So we have, we're going to multiply by minus 1 here. So we have a minus DX times CY minus, or this minus quantity, this whole quantity here, DX times CY minus dy times cx, closed quantity, times k hat. So distributing that minus 1 through, we are going to be left finally with cx times dy minus cy times dx, k hat, which is the proof. The proof is in the pudding, friends, that c cross d is equal to minus d cross c. And so, I thought it was important to kind of go through that example and really, just understand that it's not just a rule. You can actually prove it. And that's so important with everything in physics, is that it's not just, doesn't just come from the air. You can actually prove anything and everything that at least you should be able to, that you know to be true about physics, which is the problem with string theory, which we're talking about in the Halloween episode, is that, it works really well, but we can't exactly prove it yet, and we're not really sure how we're going to prove it. So it all sounds good until you have to actually prove it, and so no one's going to really endorse it, as, say, Isaac Newton endorsed the Pwn Your Homework Physics Series podcast. So there we go. I think that's all we're going to do for today, and then I think we're going to do one more part, cross product and dot product examples, and that is going to wrap it up. So, and then we'll do a little partay for the Vectors app, which is coming soon for you guys. So there we go. So yeah, Isaac Newton recommending you check out the podcast and grab the calculus and force apps. Don't be a fool. Help yourself. Let Isaac help you. He knows a thing or two about a thing or two. So, all right. So I think that's going to do it for this week, guys. Hope you enjoyed the Halloween trilogy of Unsolved Mysteries. I had a blast doing that, and made me wonder a little bit about the universe. So I had a good time, and it seems like everybody, a lot of listeners, even on Halloween weekend, checking out that podcast. So thanks for checking it out, and thanks as always for tuning in. I do appreciate it, and if you have the inkling, head on over to the blog, pwnyurhw.blogspot.com. We're going through visually over there the step-by-step that we just did here, so in case the audio is not enough, in case you're having a tough time visualizing it with the crisscrossing of AX is equal to CX sometimes and AX is equal to DX other times, you may need a little bit of visual assistance. So head on over to the blog for that, and grab an app or two. So, all right, guys, with that in mind, stay frosty, stay in the zone, and I'll catch you next time, guys. Take care.